Hello YouTube fans, this is TheSkullKlown, here to review, well, not review, that would be for Halloween, October 31st, to review Forgotten Words. But today, I'm here to do some of my favorite horror movies, obviously. And I grabbed mostly all the horror movies I have in my freaking bookshelf. Technically, yeah, movie shelf. So, all my horror movies are here, not all of them. There's probably 3 or 4 that I'm not bringing it out because, not because they're not horror, but because I want to talk about other things that deserve to be talked about. Especially other movies that have been talked about before. But, without further ado, let's talk about some horror movies. So, this is not a top 10 list or anything like that. This is just me grabbing a couple of movies and just telling how I feel about them real quick. So, this one is classic horror. If you haven't got this, you should. There's a lot of good horror classics here. And I haven't watched all of them, but I do recommend watching Carnival of Souls, which is amazing. And King of the Zombies is also a good recommendation. It is, you know the movie Get Out? Yeah, that movie is a remake of King of the Zombies. Just so you know. And Metropolis, how can you not watch Metropolis? Okay. Hunchback of Notre Dame, Nosferatu, White Zombie, Terror. How can you not watch Terror with freaking Baller's Call Off? And the other one that I'm going to mention is Night of the Living Dead. How can you not watch that zombie movie, you know? So, if you haven't got this collection, there's some pretty good movies in here too. Not all of them are good, but the ones that I've mentioned are pretty good. So, moving on. Let me just put this right here, just for the heck of it. Amityville Horror. This movie, this is my first animated, not my first horror movie, but my first Amityville horror movie I've ever saw. And I've seen the remake. The remake is not that bad. It could be worse. It could be worse. But the remake is not that bad. It still gives you a scare. I mean, for crying out loud, the main fucking guy in the remake, which is in this movie, in the remake, he makes freaking caskets for his family members. That's not scary. That's fucking terrifying. If I saw that as a fucking kid, while my dad is making that, I'll be like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I don't care. I don't care if my father didn't kill me yet. I will be like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. So, if you haven't watched this movie, you should. It's a good movie. And if you haven't watched the remake, watch it. I actually pretty enjoy it. So, how do you feel about the remake? Comment down below. And I should talk about these. Why not? Stephen King's It. And I will talk about these movies in the future. I will review them really good. And I love these 2 movies. I do. I love the original. Love the remake. I hope part 2 of the remake is good. Because part 2 of the original is shit. That's why part 1 of the original is better than part 2. Nothing against the actors in part 2, but I do love them. I love the way they are, but they are not giving as much as the kids. The kids are the highlight of the first movie. Same thing with this. The kids are the highlight, and Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, obviously beautiful, and Tim Curry as Pennywise, awesome too. Pennywise will always be, well, Tim Curry will always be my Pennywise. So, just so you know. And if you haven't watched this remake, you should. It's actually a really, really good remake. Really good remake. Might just watch it later. Now, a lot of people might not be a big fan of this movie. That's fine. That's fine. I love this movie. Didn't like it when I first watched it. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Should have been called Season of the Witch. I 100% agree with that. I do agree with this, though. This movie has more Halloween stuff than Halloween. For crying out loud, once you pop it in, you'd be like, and this is before I saw this movie. I remember watching Trick or Treat, and I watched this movie, and I'm like, that's when I was refreshing with new eyes and all that. I'm like, holy crap, this movie's like Trick or Treat. This was Trick or Treat before Trick or Treat. So why am I complaining the first time? I love this movie. I love the story. Yes, a crazy guy. You know what? If you open up your intuition a little bit, you actually kind of know that this could kind of happen, but not really. It's speculated, I know. But I love the movie. Having an old man making masks to sell to little kids, and then when they watch it, of Happy Happy Halloween. Hate that song, but it's catchy as fuck. And once they hear that song, London Bridge is falling down, they die. That's dark and scary. I'm sorry, but that is a good villain, to be honest. Making a mask, and he's not even doing anything. The main killer doesn't do anything. All he does is sit back, make the mask, and sells it, and that's it. He doesn't even kill these kids. He doesn't even kill the adults. He has people for that. Great movie. I always did like a theory saying that the guy that made the mask in this movie made the Michael Myers mask before Michael had it, and then maybe the little thing did drove him crazy, but it's not there. It's inside his the mask, which is pretty dope. Like, I always thought that the mask that Myers had was basically like a test to see if it's true or not to do the other mask for Halloween 3. That's a theory I have. It's not the best theory in the world. Maybe a lot of people won't agree with it, but I love the theory. I think it's pretty, like, it's awesome just if you want to connect it with the other Halloween movies. But it's a theory. It's not really that far-fetched. But again, I love the mask. I love the pumpkin mask. I love the skull mask and the witch mask. I love it. I remember one time, I think they did a documentary, and I think they had the witch mask and the skull mask, and they were like, what other mask could we get? And then they were like, the pumpkin mask. And they were like, oh, okay. Now, if it's not with the pumpkin mask, please comment down below and tell me, because I would love to know what was it, either the witch mask or the pumpkin mask. I feel like it was one of those two. Because I know they had the skull mask, obviously. So, the other one is Gremlins. I know it's a Christmas movie, but it's also a horror movie. Any of these horror movies you can watch at any day, but you should watch this on Halloween because it just brings your wild side of loving horror movies. I love this movie. This is a classic movie that you should watch every Christmas and Halloween. I wish I had Nightmare Before Christmas in this. I don't. I'm sorry, but I do recommend that too. So, and another thing that I like to talk about is the Final Destination series. I love this series. To be honest, there hasn't been a bad Final Destination movie in my opinion. Every Final Destination movie has been pretty good. The most famous one a lot of people like to talk about is Final Destination 3, which I do agree. I think it is the most famous Final Destination movie out of all the Final Destination movies. It's been played, it's been showed on TV countless times, and it's been showed countless times. Right next to the first one. I remember every time I watch it, I remember one time I watched it on TV, they showed number 1, and then straight to number 3. And I'm like, what's number 2? They didn't do that. They just did 1, 2, and that's it, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. So those are the most famous ones in people's eyes, I guess. But not to say the other ones are bad. These are great movies. And do I want a Final Destination 6? Hell yeah, I do. I want freaking the guy that played Candyman to come back and be like, only death. He's not death, obviously. He's like a guardian angel to tell people, to be like, hey, watch out, death is coming. Great actor, great actor. I want him back. I really do. He is the highlight of all of these movies. I don't think he's even in all of them. I think he's only in one Final Destination, I guess. And I don't think he's in the whole series. I could be wrong. I know he's in the 5th one. I know he's in the first one. But I don't think he's in the other ones. But again, great actor. Haven't watched these? Watch it. Highly recommend. Now, this is a comedy horror. My spirit might not like it, but I haven't watched it in a while. But I do like this movie. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I actually enjoyed this movie when I first watched it. It's basically like a whole bunch of high school kids think that these hillbillies are killing people, and they're not. They're actually saving them by accidentally killing them at the same time. And then the teenagers think that they're killers, so they try to do everything that they can, and they kill themselves while they trying to prove that these hillbillies are killers, but they're not. And then one of the teenagers becomes like a psychopath, and then at the end he's like a fucking horror icon, going after Tucker and Dale, and he thinks Tucker and Dale are the evil ones, but no, he's the evil one, and I love that. I fucking love that twist and turn and all that. I remember watching the trailer, I was like, oh my god, these two hillbilly guys are killing these people, but then it turns way around and you have the teenagers kill themselves because they thought they were killers. That is hilarious. All because what? They kidnapped this girl. I fucking love this movie, man. I love it. Haven't watched this movie? Watch it. There is a sequel to this movie. I haven't watched it yet. Tell me what you guys think. Is it better than the first one, or is it pretty good? Tell me down below if you have watched the sequel to Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I need to rewatch this movie again. And even just by looking at the teenagers here makes me laugh because I know what happens to them. It's so funny. I don't know. That's just me. Another movie that I really enjoy if you like your animals being horror, Lake Placid. Lake Placid is another funny, really funny, and also kind of scary movie. There's multiple alligators. I was going to say crocodile, but it literally says alligators here. As you can see. But yeah, this is a nice, really good movie. And Betty White is in this movie. She is the highlight of this movie. She is the reason why we have these fucking big, giant fucking alligators in the fucking lake. She is the reason. And she is perfect in this movie. God bless Betty White. When she ever passes away, hopefully that doesn't happen until she's a million years old, because I love Betty White. I just love this movie. The CGI could be better, but there is animatronics in this movie, and it makes the alligator look scary as fuck. And when you go to the the ending, when you see the crocodile and the camera zooms out, huge, just huge crocodile alligator, and and that's animatronic, and it looks really, really good. It looks like a real crocodile. I mean, alligator. I keep getting confused here, but it looks like a real alligator. That's awesome. And if you haven't watched Lake Placid, you should. It's a fun movie. Great actors. The actors are funny as fuck in this movie. I love it. You should watch it. The other one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The beginning. Not playing. That movie was shit. Not playing. It's not too bad, but it could be a lot better. This movie, though, is a classic. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is hands down one of the best horror movies of all time. I remember when I saw this trailer with the DVD. Not the ones that talked about, hey, what happened was true. The other one was, this is the last horror to finish them all. And if it was the last horror movie, what a way to go. What a way to end a horror franchise, if this was the end of horror franchises. And yes, a lot of people don't talk about Leatherface as the slasher killer, but he is. Yes, Norman Bates started it, and there was other ones that did started it. Yes, but Norman Bates literally was like, slashers are here, bitch. And Leatherface was like, yes, we all here. Yeah. And then Michael Myers came out and was like, yeah, we're definitely here. You know? So that's just me. Love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Creepy. Awesome. The atmosphere was crazy as hell. I feel sorry for these actors, because the heat that they had to go through inside the house was... Like, if you hear the stories of what the hell they went through inside that house, it stanked and everything like that, I'm sorry, I would not be in that house. And most of the actors kind of got insane, especially, not Toby Hooper, the guy that played Leatherface, I forgot his name, I apologize. But he kind of got a little bit insane too in the movie, because he didn't took a shower at all. Everyone stunk. And when he did that crazy chainsaw dance, he was literally becoming insane. And when the end of the movie, they were like, yeah, we keep that. Because he was literally going insane. That's how much days they were on that fucking set, people. Great movie, and it really does show in the final product of how rough these actors went through. It really does. But great acting, great characters. Highly recommend watching this movie on Halloween or any type of day, because it is that fucking scary. Still scary to this day. Just fucking amazing. Another movie I like to talk about, Psycho. This movie, without Jamie Lee Curtis's mom being here, should only be in Halloween. I'm dead serious. For crying out loud, they even got Jamie Lee Curtis for the Halloween movie just because her mom was in was in Psycho. And does she do a good job? Hell yeah! She does an amazing job! Hell yeah! And I love that she paid the reference in H2O. I love that. One of the best highlights in H2O, in my opinion. Just because her mom just made an appearance there. I just love it. Everybody deserves a good scare on Halloween. I was just like, yeah, they do. And if you haven't watched this movie, I don't want to ruin it for you. It's really good. There is a twist. If you don't know the twist, you should just watch this movie. And if you watch the Norman Bates TV show, you probably already know what's the twist. And it's kind of sad because I haven't finished Norman Bates' series, but I've seen the DVD of the final season, and I'm like, what did you do? You showed, that's a big spoiler. If you've seen the poster for the final season of Norman Bates Motel, you'd be like, the fuck did you do, show? You basically spoiled it for the people that didn't watch the movie. Yeah, I understand it's old, but why would you do that? Keep it suspense, in my opinion. But, again, all the acting does great. Everything is awesome. And it's one of the first movies to kill a main lead. Not a lot of movies did that. When she died, when the main actress died in the movie, I was just like, oh my god, they killed her off. And it was like, wait a minute, she's the main character. Why you killed her off? And then we get, you know, her boyfriend being like, yo, where's my girlfriend? And then the sister comes. I love that. I love that. Usually you have the sister complaining to the boyfriend, be like, what you did to my sister. I think we did get that part, but it didn't last that long because it was like, dude, I don't even know what happened to your sister. I want to look for her too, you know? So that's a nice thing. I do like that Dr. Loomis in the Halloween movie was paying homage to Loomis in this movie. And I love the theory also that the Loomis in this movie is actually the Loomis from Halloween. Great theory, love it. Reasons why I love this movie. Highly recommend it if you haven't watched it. The other one is another classic. We're the Monster Squad. I love this movie. If you grew up watching the Universal Monster movies, you will love this fucking movie. All I have to say is, Wolfman got nods. Wolfman gets balls. Who knew that? I didn't even knew that as a kid. When I was a kid, I was like, now we know. Now we know. Ugh. I fucking love that movie so much. Monster Squad is a good movie. My name is Horace. Badass. Nice job, fat kid. I fucking love this. I love that movie so much. But moving on. Yes. How can you not talk about this movie? How can you not talk about this movie without even talking about Halloween in general? Army of Darkness. Is it a Resident Evil movie? Resident Evil movie. Is it an Evil Dead movie? Or is it its own thing? It's its own thing, obviously. But I love this movie. Everything in this movie is great. I love the special effects. I love the acting. This is my Bible. Because, like, he's fucking awesome. I keep forgetting his name. And I swear it has to be here. It has to be here. It has to be here. Not Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi made this movie. But, fuck, I always forget these actors' names and I love them so much. For crying out loud. Bruce Campbell. There we go. Bruce Campbell is awesome. I love Bruce Campbell in this movie, man. I fucking love him. This is my boomstick. I love him in this movie. And there is another ending that he's like, no, I stood up for too. I went to sleep for too long. No, I thought that was a dumb ending when I first saw it. But as a Evil Dead ending, as an Evil Dead ending, yeah, it is. I do like this ending a lot better. Hell to the king, baby. I fucking love that line, and what a perfect way to end one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. So, moving on. Big Trouble in Little China. Most people might be like, this is not a horror movie. What are you talking about? There's sorcery, magic, and an old man that wants to have a girl so he can live forever. I don't know about you, but that's kind of scary and kind of horror-ish. So Big Trouble in Little China goes in this spot, in my opinion, because it kind of deserves to be kind of a horror flick, in my opinion. Yes, it's more action and more adventure than horror, but if you watch the movie, there's still a lot of horror stuff in it. Like, what was that ball that the Chinese guy had that started looking at everywhere, and he's like, I don't know. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. Like, the freaking ball that has eyes everywhere, and freaking the main character was like, oh, what the hell is that? And then they shoot him, and they go away because they're basically shooting at the Chinese dude's eye. Great. The acting is great. I love the acting. And yes, he's not the main character. His friend is. But the Hollywood didn't get that. I got it. It's funny as hell to me. Yes, he's not the main character. But Hollywood wants him to be the main character. He's not. His best friend is the main character. And it really is. If you watch the movie, you'd be like, how come the Asian dude doesn't get a highlight? I mean, it takes place in Chinatown, so it makes sense if it was about him, you know? But it's not. It's about him. Which it shouldn't be, but whatever. I still enjoy this movie. Highly recommend it. And you should watch it on around Halloween, because it has that whole vibe to it. Not because it's scary. A little bit it is, but not all the way. It's still a good movie to watch any time of the day. But for a Halloween movie, yeah, I'll watch it. I mean, why not? Look at the fucking poster. I'll watch it on Halloween. Another movie I want to talk about is Little Shop of Horrors. Yes, Little Shop of Horrors was also in this collection with Jack Nicholson. So if you get this collection, you will get the original Little Shop of Horrors. And I watched the Little Shop of Horrors on the internet, on YouTube. And it was one of my favorites. I didn't like the ending all that much, but I can understand why they had the ending now that I look at it, and I really don't mind it. Mainly because this movie did the same thing, and I really enjoyed this movie. When I first saw this movie, I loved it. I didn't like the original ending of the aliens, you know, the plant aliens ruling the world and all that. But then I got used to it, and I loved it. It reminded me of the B movies that I grew up watching and I loved. So, I love it. It's a good movie. And most people will be like, this is not a horror movie. It's called Little Shop of Horrors. If someone says this is not a horror movie, then you should look at the title again. Little Shop of Horrors. I love this movie. I do. Literally, Rick Moranis is good in this movie. I have to look at these names because sometimes I forget. I love this cover. I do. I do like the other cover when the plant's just eating all the people. I love that cover way better than this cover. But not to say this is a good cover. I do like this cover. And the Blu-ray version comes with the bad ending and the good ending. This doesn't. I kind of wish it does. So you can, you know, so you can show, you know, your friends or your family member and be like, here, this is the good ending that you probably wanted, you know. But overall, I enjoy this movie. I enjoy everything about this movie. The plant. The special effects on the plant. It made you believe RG2 was real. It made you believe that this plant was real. I love this movie. I do. It's a musical. I'm not a big fan of musicals, but if I was going to pick a musical, it would be South Park, Bigger and Longer and Uncut in this movie, because I just love it that much. Those are like the only two musicals I really enjoy. The rest is fuck them. just me. So if you haven't watched Little Shop of Horrors, you should watch it, especially the director's cut, because you get that sad ending, that horror ending that a lot of people kind of wanted. And you know what? I don't mind it. Really good. The other thing I like to talk about is Nightmare on Elm Street saga. Now, I'm not going to talk about which Nightmare on Elm Street I'm going to talk about, because if you're going to watch one, might as well watch all of them, in my opinion. And I'm still going to complain that this is Jack Lee O'Haley in the cover and not Robert Englund. It is. It is Jack Lee O'Haley in the cover and not Robert Englund. You can clearly see it. Am I the only one? This is Jack Lee O'Haley as Freddy Krueger. Look at the glove. The glove is literally from the remake. Yeah, it is. Why would you put the remake Freddy here and not the original one? You fucking idiots. I will complain to that to the fucking moon and beyond. That is stupid as fuck. Stupid as fuck. God. But, good collection. Highly recommend getting this collection. And I'm going to go a brief summary of what I made this saga to. So number 1 is the Nancy saga. You get Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. A lot of people might say Wes Craven's New Nightmare is not a Freddy movie. It's more like a, like a Hollywood status, kind of like Seed of Chucky. But I will argue that Nancy is in the movie, and so is Freddy. For crying out loud, Wes Craven even told the actress that plays Nancy, you have to play Nancy one more time. So you can't really say she didn't play Nancy. She did. So this is the Nancy saga. The other saga is called My Children's Saga. I bet you like that. So, with this saga, it has Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Freddy's Dead, and also Freddy vs. Jason. So, that's my saga. That's how I like to put them together. That's how I like to order them. How do you guys like to order the Friday the 13th series? That's my order. So if you guys haven't watched these, you should. It's scary, funny, and entertaining. Yes, I reviewed this movie, but I need to talk about it. Most people are like, why would you talk about this movie? It's not even horror. It is. These kids go into a fucking factory and they never come out. They dead. They died. They're dead. They're dead. This is a Saw movie. For crying out loud, if you go to Netflix and you put Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, there's a picture, if you like scroll down, there's a picture literally saying, with a picture of this in Netflix saying horror and sci-fi. Yeah. True. For crying out loud. In Denmark, the title was called The Boy Who Drowned. Drowned in chocolate sauce. That's a whole movie on its own, okay? And Willy Wonka is literally the witch from Hansel and Gretel and recruits a new witch. It is. This is a Hansel and Gretel movie. Watch it. It is a horror movie. And that boat scene too, don't tell me that is not a horror. Don't tell me this is not a horror movie. Put that boat scene in, it's a horror movie. Take it out, it's not a horror movie. It's just kids going into a factory dying. Actually, no, it's still a horror movie. So yeah, watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory anytime you want because it has good acting, good singing, and a psychopath that kills children so he can eat them. Yeah, that's horror. The other thing I like to talk about, it's a classic. I wonder if I have it right here. I don't think I brought it with me. Nope, I left it there. Well, I was going to mention something else too when I get to it, but I probably won't mention it because it's not on my bed. But I do want to talk about this. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This movie is a horror movie. It is. It's a monster horror movie. If you watch the Japanese version, which I have like 3 times actually. I watched the Japanese one like 3 times, and I watched the English one time, and I fell asleep on it. Because I was going back to back with it, that's why, and maybe you shouldn't do that, because you just fall asleep. But the Japanese version is better. It's more tragic and more disturbing. It really is. For crying out loud, there was a review about this saying that, oh, this movie sucks, it didn't really give the vibe of horror. Really? For crying out loud, in the Japanese version, people thought that this movie was funny. The Japanese version, you thought it was funny? Yeah, of course. Fuck you, you son of a bitch. Yeah, let's have a fucking little girl screaming at her mom being dead. That's funny, right? That's funny. And when you hear the cries of her freaking crying, it's disturbing. But that's funny to you, isn't it? So is the fucking choir, right? Singing for New Hope. Because all this shit happened because a fucking giant monster decided to rule the fucking world. But you don't care, American. You don't care, America. You know why? Because this is your bomb. Yes, this is your fault. This is your fucking fault. What horror did you brought upon Japan? Watch this movie. It is a good movie. And it will show you how disgusting we were in World War II. And Japanese feel the same way with themselves too. That's why they love Godzilla. Us Americans, we think Godzilla will save the planet. You fucking idiot! You're a dumbass! If this fucking creature was alive, he won't even look at you. He won't even want the air you breathe. And that's why I love Godzilla. That's why I love the king of the monsters. Because he doesn't give a fuck if you're good or evil. He will destroy you because he can and he will. And he's pissed off. He is. Godzilla's pissed off. Really. And he's more of an animal in this movie. Which is, I like. I like that Godzilla's more of an animal in this movie. So tell me what you guys think. Damn, you went ham on that. I had to because people don't think Godzilla... I'm not getting into that. But let's get to another funny good movie. Zombieland. They're all going to make a sequel to this movie. They should have made a sequel a long time ago, in my opinion. Maybe, what this came out in 2010, I think. Yeah, it came out in 2010 or 9. So it should have came out in 2012 or 2011, in my opinion, if the sequel was going to get made. But it wasn't. It was originally supposed to be a TV show. Didn't happen. Became a movie. Then they were going to do the TV show with different actors. That wouldn't work, in my opinion, because we love these actors. And it didn't happen. So we're all going to get a sequel to the movie. The reason I'm tapping my foot is because I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I want it to happen, but I don't think it will happen. Even though I love these actors and they do deserve a second movie. They do. For kind of loud. What if they make a sequel and normal people started hunting them down to feed them with the zombies? That'd be a good sequel, and it would put the stakes a little bit higher, you know? And it will pay homage to, you know, Dawn of the Dead and all that stuff, you know? That's just me. And this movie already pays homage to other zombie movies anyways, even Shaun of the Dead. So why not? Why not do almost like a zombie, you know, in a mall theme, but not really. Take it outside and have just crazy people going after you, almost like Dead Rising video games, if you play those. So yeah, imagine taking Dead Rising game and shove it inside Zombieland. It's basically, you get Zombieland 2. That's what I want in Zombieland 2. If we don't get that, fine, we don't. But if you are going to do a sequel to this movie, that is what you should do, in my opinion, as a zombie movie. That's just me. Moving on, I recently just saw this movie. It's a good movie. I love the acting. I love the suspense. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy The Lost Boys. I really do. The acting is great. And everybody's really good in this movie. Everybody's good. And yes, I did heard some of the stuff that the kids went through to become in this movie. To be in this movie. And it's sick. It disgusts me, and it shows of how much Hollywood system is fucked up. Like, you're gonna rape little boys? If you don't believe me, for kind of loud, he admits it. This actor admits it. And he's not the only actor that admits it too. And I think this actor's dead now because of it. Yeah, I know that's a little sad thing, but to be honest, I should talk about that because it goes to a little bit of horror aspects. Because if you talk about horror of the ward, yeah, that's it. Happy Hallows Eve, people. Hopefully you watch this movie without thinking about it. And if you do, I apologize. Hopefully you love this movie so much and then you find out the truth about it. Hopefully you don't get disengaged of enjoying it. I don't. But I can understand why the actors feel the way they feel. I'll be pissed too. But moving on, you should still watch this movie. Great movie. Let me see. I want to see how much time I have left. Oh, still plenty of time. Just want to look at my camera. Arachnophobia. I'm not scared of spiders. My brother-in-law is. But I'm not scared of spiders at all. Like, if a spider pops out, like, if I look at a wall, if there's a spider, yeah, I'll be like, oh shit, you know? But I'm not scared of spiders, you know? And if a spider was on me, of course I'm going to go like that, you know? Because I don't want a spider on me, first of all, you know? But overall, this movie is actually pretty scary. The fucking spider, the janitor, is fucking horrifying. It is. You get some close-ups of the janitor and no, I'm sorry. A spider should not be this big and the fans should not be this big. I'm sorry. Kill it with fire. And that's how the spider dies. I'm sorry. If you watch this movie, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The highlight of this movie is John Goodman. John Goodman is, once he's in the movie, you feel like he's going to get out. But no, he comes back and he's in through the whole movie. Good. He is the highlight of this movie. He is. I love John Goodman. Really do. Respect him as an actor and everything like that. And you do get one of the guys from Dumber and Dumber that played not the Jim Carrey, not Jim Carrey, the other actor. I keep forgetting his name. His name should be here. Jeff Daniels. I think that's his name. So Jeff Daniels is in this movie, and he does a great job. I love John Goodman and Jeff in this movie. I think they're great actors, and they're pretty good. And you do feel, the main character, you do feel kind of sorry for him because he doesn't like spiders at all. At all. And you do feel for him. And his wife, his actually attractive wife, his wife is pretty attractive. I would totally live the life that they live with her. But she loves spiders. She's fascinated by them. And I'm the same way. I'm fascinated by spiders. I'm fascinated of how they walk and everything like that. And obviously spiders, they're actually blind. Yeah, the eyes that they have, they're actually inwards. So yeah, they're kind of blind. Kind of feel sorry for the spiders. That's why they jump on you and all that, because they don't know what's happening. They can only see like 5 feet from them. I'm actually seeing 5 feet from you. That kind of sucks. So if you haven't watched this movie, Arachnid, watch it. And if you're scared of spiders, then you should definitely watch it, because you will enjoy this movie. You would. And I'm surprised it's not a spider in the logo, because in promotional posters they did have a spider with the moon on it. I guess they don't want to do that to pay reference to Spider-Man, the PS2 version, because the loading of Spider-Man actually sees the spider going down, and it kind of looks familiar like that. It looks like a loading screen. So I think that's why they didn't put it. But moving on, good movie. Yes, the tension. I reviewed this movie too. This is kind of like a horror movie. Again, I've talked about this. It pays homage to The Breakfast Club, The Flag, 16 Candles, Scream, Back to the Future, Prom Night, the original, and Saw. So if you're a fan of any of these movies, you probably might enjoy this movie. I enjoyed this movie for what it was, and I still give it a D-. Like, what is this movie? Not to say it's a bad thing. Because sometimes it could be a bad thing, other things it could be a good thing. But this one is a good thing, because you just want to know more about this freaking little movie. You just want to know more about it. And when you watch it more and more, you do get what's going on. And the acting is not bad. It's not. It could be worse, really. And it does take a long time for them to go to... I mean, that's the whole fucking plot. And then when they do go there, shit starts happening. The main chick here, you do feel sorry for her because a lot of shit just happens to her. But if you haven't watched this movie, you should watch this movie. Highly recommend it. Really good movie, in my opinion. Yes, it's a D- movie. But overall, that's a compliment. It's called detention. You're going to detention. You get a D. At least I get to pass the freaking... at least I get to pass senior year. You know? It's just high school. And number 1. Okay, I was not going to put this in this list. The reason I was not going to put it in the list is because it's so generic and everyone always talks about it in every list. I know. I should talk about it. I know. Halloween. What do I have to say about this movie? I don't have to say anything about this movie. I was gonna switch this movie to The Witches. Stop doing that! I was gonna switch it to The Witches. If you smack me, I swear I'll fucking bite your hand. I will bite your hand. Sorry, I've been watching too much Evil Dead and apparently my hand got possessed while I was watching it. Moving on. This movie is great. I love the poster, by the way. Look at that cover. It's awesome. And again, yes, I was going to put The Witches in this because it's a scary movie too. Especially if you're a kid. It's a fucking scary movie. But if you haven't watched that movie, you should have watched that too. But this movie, I really don't have to say anything about this movie. It's called Halloween. You should watch this movie on Halloween. If not, that's fine. I don't think I watched it last year on Halloween. Which most people will be like, what's wrong with you? Everything is wrong with me. You should watch this movie on Halloween. Literally. Every day for the rest of your life until you die. Because it's that awesome. I love this movie. I do. It has suspense. It has scary stuff in it. Yeah. And the lighting. I love the lighting in this movie. I love it. I mean, look at the back here. You really don't look at the... Yeah, you probably will be like, but to me, I like the lighting. The lighting, it gives it more of... It makes it more scarier. And it makes it more, like, realistic. And it makes it more... I know What Pisses Me Off made a video talking about realistic is not a bad thing. Yeah, it's not. I haven't watched your video about it, but I will get to it after this video. It really isn't. Having realistic stuff is not a bad thing. Look at the Dark Knight trilogy. Great. Look at this movie. It has some realistic stuff in it. And so did Psycho. And none of those movies are not panned. They're all beloved. They are so beloved. So having realistic in your movies sometimes will go a long way. Not all the time. I mean, sometimes you want to get out of realistic stuff, obviously. But other times, real life is even scarier than just fantasy. And that's why I talked about when I was talking about, you know, The Lost Boys. So don't forget to watch this movie, like, comment, and subscribe. And what is your movies that you like to watch on Halloween? There's other ones I could have talked about too. Like this. I could have talked about The Thing, The Blob, The Return of the Living Dead, Possession. I could have talked about that. I could have talked about Silence of the Lambs. Holy crap. And I could have talked about, hey, Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. I could have talked about that pretty much because it is a horror movie. And that song with the zombies, awesome. Just freaking awesome. And I think that's really about it. Oh yeah, you got Straw Dogs, which is kind of a horror movie. Not really. More of a thriller. But still, you should watch it around Halloween. Really good. Another one that you should watch around Halloween is The Strangers. The unrated version. Not the one that we got in theaters. At least, I don't think this is the one we got in theaters. I haven't watched this version. At least I don't think I did. But I did watch the original one, and I do like it. The sequel, I heard, was shit. Which is sad, because I always wanted a sequel to this movie. And knowing that the sequel sucks makes me feel more home to this movie. So, there you go. So, what do you guys think about this list? Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And happy Hallows Eve. And tomorrow will be Halloween. And yes, tomorrow I will be viewing Forgotten Words.